So, can you have too much estrogen? Hmm. This is a question women rarely hear discussed. Is really, what's the adequate level, right? So, what's your sweet spot? Well, this is what happened with me. I've been at pretty much the same level since day one with my estrogen. I've had it anywhere from 60 to 100. And again, this is definitely something to talk with your doctor, verify if this is your happy place with what levels you want to be at and remain at, and when the symptoms are really eliminated or mitigated. But this is really, really important. Again, a knowledgeable practitioner is going to help guide you with this alongside your endocrinologist, because this should be a team working with what you need, how it's working, and how your body's responding. So I decided, due to more joint and body aches that I was experiencing, I've had some lower back and tight hip flexors that I've been really struggling with lately. So I decided I was going to increase my estrogen cream. So it's a compounded cream that I get prescribed, and I wanted to just increase it a little bit. So I usually do one pump at night. So that is my routine. And I decided, again, I talked with my practitioner about this, and she gave me the thumbs up. She's like, sure, this is your body. You know what you're doing. You know how to kind of titrate and take a little bit more just to see if I was going to feel any difference. So I did. I was doing my one pump, and I decided to do a little bit more. So about a pump and a half. And it's amazing when you can do this with the creams, you can kind of control what's coming out. And it's amazing how sensitive and how impactful, and in my case, absorbing this cream is on our skin. And I rub it on the inside of my thigh. So I went for it. I decided to experiment with this for 2 to 3 months. So I went, I mean, this was just recently, it was about 6, 8 weeks ago, got my biannual levels tested. I get them done twice a year just to see, out of curiosity, alongside all the other levels I get tested with my doctor every year. And my estradiol at this point reached 170 was the level. Now, my prior test, again, about 3 to 4 months prior to this, was at 80. So that's quite a jump. So this is what I was feeling. So this is the benefits that I noticed in that. Again, it was about 2 to 3 months time that estrogen was increased in my body, and obviously my levels went up. I was sleeping better. I was having better insulin sensitivity. So my need for insulin went down a little bit. I did notice this. And again, we have the data to prove all this, don't we? We've got the pump reports, we got the CGM reports, seeing our time and range and all of that kind of getting easier to manage. I was feeling less discomfort with the joint pain. Things were getting a little smoother. So that was the good part. But what I also noticed, again, with that higher level, was I was feeling puffy. So I was retaining more water, feeling kind of swollen, a little more puffiness around the midsection. My breasts were more tender, or they were tender because they hadn't been tender before. And these are all signs of higher estrogen. And I was feeling more emotional. So again, all those things. And these aren't bad. This is not a bad place to be, but it was something I was noticing that I wasn't really comfortable with sustaining those feelings long term. So more in this case, so increasing my dose doesn't always mean better. So the goal isn't maximum estrogen. The goal is symptom improvement. So what I did, so it's real important to find your sweet spot. So I did decide, after getting that level down, that 170 was too high of a number. I didn't want to keep it at that level. So I decided to go back to my one pump per day, and to get those levels down into that range that I was doing really well at prior. So the experiment was an experiment, but I learned from the experiment, and I took that data, talked to my practitioner about it, and we decided, again, it was a shared decision making, that I was going to go back to my original dosing amount. And like I was saying, there is no perfect number. There's only your symptoms, your quality of life, your blood sugar response, your goals. And my sweet spot may not be your sweet spot. So again, if we have the liberty to talk with a practitioner about this and figuring out what is best for you, and to find out what that current range is.